And welcome back to this edition of Critical Mass Radio Show. I am your host. I am your host of the program. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Cannell is the founder of Clear Vision Media, and I've asked him to join because I know many of you are looking to grow your business, and many are considering how social media might help you grow your business this year. So I've asked him to come into the studio and discuss how middle market companies like yours, can utilize social media marketing to achieve real growth and business results in your business. But first, I'd like to let you know that our audience demographic is 98% owners and executives of businesses who listen to learn from the experiences of our guests, just like it's going to happen here in just a few minutes when Sean and I get started talking. If you're interested in reaching these top decision makers, then advertising on our radio show is the answer. Each month, our sponsors gain valuable exposure through their support of the radio show. All right, with our exclusive prospect engagement program, Critical Mass Radio Show delivers 24 warm prospects to each of our advertisers each year. To learn more, contact Rose Chamora at 951-515-4661. Rose's number again is 951-515-4661. All right, let's get back to the radio show program. Welcome to the studio, Sean.
Man, Rick, it's so good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Let's start simply. Tell me about your firm. Tell me about Clear Vision Media, and start with the name. Where did you come up with the name, and what does it mean?
Absolutely. Well, Clear Vision Media helps influencers get noticed and get results in their businesses. And came up with the name because I found that a lot of times when it comes to marketing and when it comes to reaching your end user, sometimes people's vision is not that clear.
Okay.
And so that was really that's where it all started. Clear Vision Media. And with media, we do things like, social media, short-term campaigns, long-term campaigns, video production, and book launches for different online celebrities or influencers and people who, really want to build their platform, and just different types of media like that. So.
Okay. You said a word, and I wrote it down. I wanted to ask you about it. Define what you mean by influencer.
Influencer, especially I think in 2015, is a lot of people understanding the need of a necessity of personal branding. And so you can be influencers. Really, that means you would have influence in some way. So maybe your influence could be a TV personality, but in my world, a lot of times is you have influence on social media, maybe a lot of followers, but not just followers, Rick. People that are engaged. So maybe you've got a big email list. Okay. Maybe you have a lot of customers and you're an influencer because you basically have a platform or a tribe of people that you're communicating with. So.
Right. So is it your philosophy, it sounds like it might be, tell me if I'm off base or on target, that CEOs of middle market companies, $2 to $100 million companies, that's the audience that listens to Critical Mass Radio Show, that it is they can be an influencer, or maybe they should be, or maybe even they have to be an influencer in their market space?
I love what you said, because you said, not only that they could, but maybe they should. Right. And it is my philosophy that they should in today's world. I think it's important. When you have the face of a company, we could start thinking about people like the Tony Hsiehs of Zappos or the Steve Jobs. It's always helpful when that CEO has built influence and built a platform that will level up the company for sure.
Right, because they don't have to reach the level of notoriety of those two gentlemen, right, Steve Jobs or Tony Hsieh. But in their niche, in their space, we're talking about $2 to $100 million companies. There's probably a very defined sandbox with which they play in their space. To be able to be on trade show panels, to be a thought leader, to be sought out by the trade media, to be a member, an active member in associations. These are ways that I see them establishing their own professional brand that complements the company's professional brand and positioning.
I totally agree, and you're absolutely right. I think that they would want to achieve that notoriety in their niche. Right. And the more specific their niche, really the better, because they can now begin to influence that space, just like you said.
Right, and with social media now, I'm amazed, frankly, at how middle market companies can extend their reach so cost effectively using digital tools that were unavailable to them a decade ago or 5 years ago or certainly 20, 30, 40 years ago.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, the world is changing at a rapid pace. I mean, even as I think of my own history, really when I got into this, social media didn't exist. I mean, back in 2003, really when I got started and I started doing some video production, Facebook wasn't around. There was no Instagram. YouTube.
There was a world without Facebook?
I mean, it's hard for me to believe.
What, it went down yesterday or whatever, and the whole world slowed down.
Exactly. So, these are brand new things. And so brand new opportunities, still very young, and people are really learning how to leverage them and get real results from them. So,
right, we're talking with Steve Cannell. He is the founder of Clear Vision Media. We're talking about influencers and the importance for CEOs to take a leadership role. What is your path to this position in life?
Well, it's interesting because I'd mentioned 2003. For me, I kind of had a creative background, so I was always dabbling in, photography and audio and video. And then in 2003, I actually got my start in the church world. And so my youth pastor handed me a video camera and some editing software, and I just started to really develop my video editing skills in that space. Now, social media didn't exist yet, so I started there. And really, Clear Vision is strongly, video production oriented. We're talking about YouTube, talking about online video. That's definitely our niche and our specialty. But then over the years, as these platforms began to come out, I was very much an early adopter on those. And so started developing relationships with other people in that space and started to really level up in the trenches, if you will, of the nonprofit space, because we're doing everything. We're trying to reach people, and we're doing print media, and we're combining it with social media, and we're trying to get the word out in our city. And so that was really the incubator for Clear Vision over the years. And then eventually the company was finally founded in 2009. And we began to have the blessing of working with like Mercedes and YMCA, and then started to develop some relationships with influencers and really online celebrities as well. So people that are kind of in this new space that are really using social media as kind of like their full-time job, online personalities and YouTube celebrities, things like that.
Right. So a very strong focus on video, and we're talking to CEOs of middle market companies. At a high level, Sean, how would you suggest, or what philosophy should they take to the adoption of video in their website, in their promotion, in their online presence?
Great question, and I think for, middle market companies, I think that this is the philosophy they need to adopt, that every company should really be a media company in 2015. And they should start thinking about producing content in a very intentional way. And it really will work for any business in any niche. I think a good example to look at would be Taco Bell. They are killing it with social media, online video. Look at their YouTube channel. Look at their Instagram. Look at how they're engaging with their audience. Now, they sell fast food, right? You wouldn't think necessarily that they would need to do that. It's just all about, the fast food, the burritos, the salsa.
Price, right.
Yeah, it's all about those things. But they understand that in today's world, they're going where the people are. Okay. They're going to where the audience is and connecting with fans, turning fans into brand evangelists with social media. And so with online video, I think they need to take a real intentional approach. Now, this is going to work for B2C or B2B.
You read
either
my
way.
mind. Right.
Yeah.
So I can see how, I can see how somebody in the audience go, that works for Taco Bell, they're B2C and their demographic. I'm making iron ball bearings or steel widgets, and my customers are sophisticated, and they're not on Instagram, and they're not on YouTube. How do you address that philosophy?
Well, if I was making ball bearings, what I would specifically do is I'm planning on going to being the best at that in my niche. And I'm going to be speaking to probably a lot smaller amount of people, but nevertheless very important people. And so for me, an email list is going to be really important. And then the content I'm sending to that email list, bottom line, is going to help B2B, that end business that I'm reaching, go further, faster. I'm going to reverse engineer content that's going to help them. So maybe it's how they could cut cost. Maybe it's how they can use our bearings in this way and that way. So I'm going to become their favorite distributor. We're going to develop this relationship because I'm creating some videos that say, look, you can cut your workday in half with this tip. You can, cut production costs down with this tip. And I'm going to add value and become one that builds that relationship and fortifies it at an even greater level for long-term success, because I'm creating content that adds value to that other business I'm working with.
Excellent. Sean, one other point. the people, regardless if you're B2B, B2C or B2B, the buyers are still humans on the other end of that transaction. And, you're using the ball bearing or that example. I'm thinking, even if you created an interesting video of different applications for your product or something that it's probably not going to become a viral video, but it might within your niche be something that's funny or interesting that gets its own little rep and folklore. I mean, I know that doesn't necessarily directly move the needle, but if it gets people used to looking at you for content, that can't be a bad thing, right?
Well, Rick, I think it does actually move the needle because you mentioned that's one of the key pieces of content that really businesses should be making. They should be making content that helps the end user engage with their product better. I don't know about you, but I've bought products before that I ended up not really using. And one of the reasons for that a lot of times is that education. So not only do I necessarily want them to take my product home or for, a middle market company, buy my software, but I want them to fully use it. I want them to fall in love with it.
Yeah, how else would they become an evangelist if they're not really using it and engaged with it, right?
Exactly. So I love how you talked about maybe creating something that, becomes maybe insider language, insider jokes, and makes it fun, but gets people really engaged with your product. Now they're using it at another level, it's going to spread at another level, and you're doing what has to happen in 2015. You're going to be staying top of mind in your niche.
Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. This is our last commercial break here on Critical Mass Radio Show. We're going to come back and continue the conversation with Sean Cannell about social media and how that can help you with his company, Clear Vision Media, after these words from our commercial sponsors.
When it comes to pioneers in their respective industries, we all know the Apples, Starbucks, and Trader Joe's of the world. In the realm of recruiting, Decision Toolbox is the industry's best-kept secret. With 90% of their business from referrals and repeat customers. For over 20 years, Decision Toolbox's U.S.-based team of recruiters, sourcers, professional writers, quality personnel, and tech support has perfected a Six Sigma approach to talent management. No matter the size of the project, Decision Toolbox delivers incredible results. A cost per hire less than half of what contingency firms charge. With the winning candidate presented in an average of 14 days. All with a 12-month candidate warranty. With results like that, Decision Toolbox won't be a secret for long. Visit us at www.dtoolbox.com for more information.
Richard Franzi is the author of 2 popular business books for CEOs. His first book, Critical Mass, The 10 Explosive Powers of CEO Peer Groups, was the first book ever written on the secret value of CEO peer groups. His second book, now with newly updated information, is Critical Mass, The Power of CEO Guiding Principles. Richard's books contain powerful information to help CEOs running middle market companies gain valuable insight to improve their decision-making skills. Richard's books are available as paperbacks or Kindle versions from Amazon.com. To find them, type Richard Franzi in the search box.
Successfully navigating the changing world of public relations and digital marketing requires an experienced, tenacious, yet gracious team. In business for more than 20 years, Orange County-based T & Company delivers big agency results with personalized service. For more information, call us at 714-536-8407 or visit us online at tandco.me.
Are you ready to tap into the power of social media to promote your business? It's easy to get social with Turn Up the Volume, the award-winning social media marketing professionals who know how to get results. Drive web traffic, boost sales, get social today. Visit www.turnupthevolume.com. That's turnupthevolume.com.
And welcome back to Critical Mass Radio Show, and you're listening to us live on octalkradio.net, but I'd also like to thank and acknowledge our listeners who download our radio show and listen to our program as a podcast. Over the last 30 days, you've listened to over 16,000 episodes, and we here at the program appreciate your continued and this growing support. All of our shows can be heard anytime on iTunes, Stitcher.com, Spreaker.com, literally several hundred former guest websites who have put their interview on their middle market company's website, as well as other business-oriented podcasting services. If you'd like to learn more about Critical Mass for Business, well, just visit our website, criticalmass4business.com. All right, Sean, let's come back. You know, in this year, let's talk about how the digital media industry is changing. Can you share kind of from your professional experience, what are the new rules of video and video marketing?
Well, the new rules, I would say, number one is definitely going to be mobile. Right, mobile's happening across, and that, you know, people on mobile devices. And here's a stat for you: over 20% of video views right now is happening on mobile devices. Now, for my clients and for what I'm observing, it's more like 50%. And so we've known for a long time that we need to have our websites and even our social and everything optimized for mobile, because that's where users are going. That's where the eyeballs are going to be. They're going to be on tablets and mobile devices. But I think that when you start thinking about the length of video content, when you start thinking about your social media strategy, mobile has to be front and center. Second thing that I'm seeing happening is definitely marketing automation, meaning a lot of businesses are really starting to understand, and they have a lot of times their back end built out with marketing automation. But what I'm talking about is, you know, utilizing really a funnel and an entry point to the path you want a customer or another business that you're working with to go on, and then building out the back end. That's old school. But the new thing in 2015 is really having video integrated in that, your email autoresponder sequence, the back end of your customer relation management software, whatever it is. And so that's another trend. I think that a huge thing that's happening now, and this is, you know, so many businesses approach new media marketing with an old media mindset.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that in the past, we're about to go up to the Super Bowl's happening soon, right? And we have this whole idea that we just want to get as many eyeballs as possible on our brand or on our product. And that's great. And there's a lot of course, giant businesses that's going to be the strategy for them, the billboard strategy, where you're driving down the highway and you want people to see your billboard. But in 2015, number one, people aren't even looking at the road anymore. They're looking at their phones. And
right.
So there goes the billboard. But beyond that, it's so possible now to laser focus niche marketing. So there's no need to just spend, you know, buckets of money.
Waste money, right?
Waste money, but you can target with things like Facebook ads, with things with Google AdSense, so targeted. It's scary how much data the internet's collecting about us,
right.
But it allows us to really target, and that's a huge trend that companies definitely can leverage. It's not, you know, doing that shotgun blast, but
right.
really being laser focused in their marketing. And then the last one is definitely content marketing. It's bigger than ever. The stats are louder than ever. That is inbound marketing, not outbound marketing. That's where you're not just pushing an ad,
right,
but you are adding value with content, nurturing those leads into relationships, and then eventually moving them down that conversion process.
All right. Sean Cannell is our guest. We're talking to him about social media and video. He's an expert in these areas, and he's helping middle market companies to do it right. Because I'll tell you, I think, and tell me what you think, Sean, it's worse. What's worse than having no video on your website? Having bad video.
I agree.
And what I've seen far too many companies do in the middle market space and the B2B space, their videos are too long. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, they think we want to sit there for 7, 12, or longer.
Sure.
When in fact, I think people watch the bar to see how long is this, and if it's north of a minute, for me personally, there's a very high bar to hold my interest.
I agree.
What would you tell a middle market CEO about the length of their video and that not have bad video? I mean,
yep.
All video isn't good.
Yeah, I agree. Well, a few things. I think number one, it's pretty scary, and if any business owners right now have a YouTube channel, they need to go into their YouTube channel, click the analytics tab. Really easy to do. There's so much valuable information on there, and click on a tab that says audience retention. And to be honest, it's a really discouraging stat.
Okay.
You'll see that 12-minute video, and you'll see the curve drop off and see that people are making it to about 30 seconds or 60 seconds, and then it flattens out, and maybe only 5% are making it through the whole video. So that now is just data that is painful, but you have to look at, why are you investing in 12 minutes when, 10 of them weren't even seen by the audience?
Right.
So really thinking about a length, they're saying, of course, it's pretty best practice that 3 minutes is kind of a good length. But even
if it's good,
if it's good all the way through, the key being is that it should be reverse engineered to accomplish the purpose for which you created the video.
Right.
So there's no need to make it cut. I've heard this in the writing industry, half short and twice strong. What can we do to make this a lot shorter but more powerful and pack more punch?
Sounds good.
And like you said, I think that video quality should reflect your brand. You have that quality website, maybe quality photography on your website. The same should be true about the video production quality as well.
Well, I love what you're saying, because what I find is if you don't capture people's interest in the first few seconds of a video, they're gone.
I agree.
And so you have to be, you said a publishing company, and I agree with that completely, but you also have to be a storytelling company.
Absolutely.
And video is a vehicle to tell a story.
Absolutely.
Succinctly.
Yep. It makes me think too, my format that a lot of times we do most videos is every video we create has an intentional purpose, and it usually starts with a question. And so the beginning of the video will be reverse engineered for the question that the audience we want to see that video is asking.
Okay.
So the question might be in the first 2 seconds, a very short logo. You don't go into a 60-second, we are this and that. You just drop your logo right in there, and then you start in the content.
Okay.
Whatever it is, that first part, it's called the hook. And so it is good storytelling. It's good marketing. It's these kinds of things we want to study. Good copywriting. It's a good blog headline. You are dropping the headline right at the beginning, and you want to capture attention. Another tip is that sometimes right at the beginning, you make a promise of something that's going to come later. So you ask a question maybe, and then you say, and by the way, stay till the end of the video because we have a free gift that's going to help you increase the conversions in your business by 25%.
Perfect.
And so now you are doing some intentional things to really keep the audience through the whole video.
This is excellent content. One of the things that I've heard some people suggest is when you're looking to hire someone in your marketing department, consider hiring someone who's been trained as a journalist for this reason. Telling stories, understanding how to build, kind of get the hook in there, and taking facts and turning it into something that's compelling. How do you feel about that?
I totally agree. In fact, when we do training, we'll go into businesses or nonprofits or churches, and when we train the teams, we actually say, your team, your social media team, you are journalists.
Oh, wow.
We use that term. You're going to go on, if you're going to tell a story even about the business, you're going to go in trying to take the video that a journalist would take, the photos, and then the writing. You want to dig and mine out the best stories and information about the characters, about the CEO, about the executive team, about, whoever's there, and you want to, turn it in. You want to figure out the intrigue. You want to figure out the mystery. You want to figure out all those kinds of things to make the story interesting, because that's what the best journalists do.
Wow, this is fantastic. We're talking about all things video, but we're also talking about social media and its impact that middle market companies can use it and help them. So let's talk a little bit about your guiding principle. We only have a few minutes left here on Critical Mass Radio Show. So, I love to ask guests on the show. You've learned a lot, Sean, in your professional career. You're building and growing your business. Do you have an overarching philosophy, which we would call here on Critical Mass your guiding principle, and can you share it?
Well, Rick, I actually have a few principles when I really start to thought down, the building blocks of our company, and just to share a few of them. I think one is definitely excellence, but that can just be so cliche, because what business doesn't say excellence? But I put it this way, that I believe in 2015, if you are not remarkable, you're invisible.
Wow.
And so you really need to have excellence be something that you're defined by. It's the reputation of your company, of everything that people run into when they experience your brand. The second one is story. And that one of the things that we accomplish for people is we are passionate about capturing the uniqueness and the humanity of our clients. We want to tell their stories. We don't just want some information. We don't want to just put an ad out that's dull and dry, but we are passionate about the story of the business, about the story of the founders, about the story of whoever we work with. And then lastly, adaptability. Things are changing so fast that in 2015, you absolutely have to be nimble. You have to be able to, reverse play like sports. Maybe you got a loose plan for the first 2 quarters. You're down by 20 points, at halftime. So you rework it and then you come out and you win the game. So, that's some of the things that mark our company is not just excellence, but also speed of implementation. And that is because of being nimble. We get a loose plan, we start moving, and then we adapt on the fly because things are moving so fast. When it comes to social media and getting the word out there definitely is a place for well thought out long-term campaigns, but a lot of times with these shorter term campaigns, let's get them to market as quick as possible, and then let's get beta to market as quick as possible, and then do revisions in the marketplace so we can make whatever our product is better.
That's what I love about social media is you can instantly tell if it's working or not, and you can tweak it, which is unlike putting an ad in a magazine and waiting. I mean, this is real time, and you can pay attention to how your community is responding to the messages you're putting out.
Absolutely.
Wow. So really, we had a lot more questions for Sean, but we didn't get to them today. How do people find you and your firm, Clear Vision Media, online?
Well, actually, the best place is kind of like the portal for everything, and that's going to be SeanCannell.com, and it links to the various projects and endeavors, SeanCannell.com. And then another resource for people is a free ebook I wrote. It's called Get Noticed, How to Build Your Brand. And
is that available on your website?
That is available at getnoticedbook.net. It's how to use social media to build your brand and reach more people. Getnoticedbook.net. And that just starts people off with a few critical things to get them thinking, like I said, in that new media, new school mindset,
right,
so they can go out and crush it with social media.
Well, I think everybody should go to both websites and get the book and download it and then contact you if they want to talk to you more about their social media strategy. Thanks for being a friend of the program. Welcome to this critical mass community, Sean.
Thank you so much, Rick. It's an honor to be here and love what you're doing, and excited to be a part of it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my producer is telling me it is time to go, so I hope our show helped you, our listening audience of CEOs who are running middle market firms, improve your decision-making skills. The goal for this show is just that. So it's also brought to you by Center Club, Community Bank of California, Decision Toolbox, Executives Unlimited, MBN Design, SNH Rubber, Strategic Market Intelligence, Sunup Group, T & Company, Tone Software, Turn Up the Volume, and UPS Protection. If you'd like to learn more about Critical Mass, visit our website, criticalmass4forbusiness.com. This is your host, Rick Franzi, saying until the next time we have a chance to talk, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.